Class is in session. This is Professor Ganymede, and instead of my usual support topics, I'm actually going to be covering tanks. Specifically, why Reinhardt is the best tank and why every team needs to have him on every attack defend map, payload map, and some King of the Hill maps. So let's get started. So have you ever been trying to push a point and wondering why the enemy Hanzo, McCree, Mei, whoever seem to have their ult so much faster than your team? If you have, it's probably because your team has a Roadhog, Winston, or D.Va as the main tank. The thing about these three as the main frontline tank is that a lot of their ability to tank comes in the amount of health that they have. I define a tank by their ability to reliably absorb damage for your team. Winston has a long cooldown, short duration, immobile, low health shield. Roadhog just has 600 health with the ability to heal himself in large bursts. D.Va has her defense matrix, which takes a long time to charge and only lasts a short duration once cast. So much of the time, if these characters are on the front lines, they're taking health damage. The more health damage that they take, the faster the enemy team will generate their ultimates. This is where Reinhardt comes in. He has a very reliable, infinite duration, wide 2,000 health shield without a cooldown. You just have to drop out of line of sight for a few seconds to let the shield regenerate once it breaks or takes damage. Every bit of damage that hits that shield is not gaining ultimate charge for the enemy. This is invaluable. The effect that a Reinhardt has on the generation of ultimate charge for both teams cannot be overstated. Imagine that a Reinhardt being on your team puts a debuff on the entire enemy team that states, these heroes receive 30 to 50% less ultimate generation. But if your team does not have a Reinhardt and has another tank whose primary ability to absorb damage comes in the amount of health that they have, like everyone who is not Reinhardt, then the enemy gets a buff that says, these heroes receive 30 to 50% more ultimate generation because your team doesn't have a Reinhardt. It's safe to say that the team with the most frequent and effective ultimates will have the highest chance of winning a game. If the enemy has a Reinhardt and your team doesn't, then they have a significant advantage over you and your team will be gaining much less ultimate charge by being forced very often to shoot at their Reinhardt shield. And their team will have their ultimates much faster than yours because a lot of the damage that they are doing is going towards someone's health. Roadhog is the worst offender in this regard. If your team has a Roadhog as a primary frontline tank, you're going to have a bad time. So please, if you play the tanking role, learn how to play Reinhardt and pick him if your team doesn't have a Reinhardt already. It's very frustrating trying to explain in-game why we need a Reinhardt and why the enemy team, who does have a Reinhardt, seems to, for some reason, have their ultimates up far more often than our team. So hopefully I convinced a few more people to pick up Reinhardt because I really believe that he is the best frontline primary tank by far. If you have any questions, hit me up down below. I try to respond to everyone. If you want more, you can follow me on Twitter, watch me stream on Twitch, and even support me on my Patreon. Links in the description. This has been Professor Ganymede. Thanks for watching. Class dismissed.